Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be doing a Shop My Stash video to update my everyday makeup drawer. I haven't done one in probably a month and a half. The last one I did was a couple weeks before Valentine's Day. So some of the things I was choosing were kind of with that theme in mind. Now that the weather is kind of changing where I live and getting slightly warmer, we're having some warmer days here and there, I'm kind of getting more in the mood for spring. So I really want to update my drawer to reflect that and choose some items that have those lighter, peachier, happier colors and not as dark and neutral as some of the winter colors I've been using. So if you want to see how I switch out my everyday makeup drawer for the upcoming month, then just keep watching. All right, so welcome back to my everyday makeup drawer. This is a combination of everything that I chose in my last Shop My Stash video, which I will link below. And throughout the last month and a half, I also added to this drawer a couple of my new purchases that I was kind of playing around with. So I have some extra stuff in here that you didn't see in that video, like this Rare Beauty blush, some new lip products that I purchased. That's pretty much it. Everything else is pretty much the same. So I'm going to clear out this drawer, put back in my 5 Project Pan items, and then we will choose all new things for the rest of the categories. All right, so we are starting with a clean slate. I left in my Project Pan items. The lip gloss I keep in my purse, so that is where that pretty much lives full time. This is for my lip products, totally empty, and these are liners and brow products and mascara. So I'm not really changing out any of my liners or brow products. I am, however, going to take out these Pacifica mascaras. I've been using them probably for 9 to 10 months now, and I just honestly am not super in love with them anymore. I talked about this in my using the new Milani Luminoso eyeshadow palette video, so I will link that below. I just feel kind of indifferent about these, and I'm honestly just ready to move them out of my collection and start using some new mascaras. So I'm going to put at least the mascara, this one, in my empties, and then the primer I think I will keep because it's totally fine. I don't really have a problem with that one yet, but the mascara I'm going to put in my empties. All right, so let's dive into some of the drawers and pick some new makeup for my everyday makeup drawer. So here is my eyeshadow drawer. In the back, I did move a lot of my extra skincare into the back of this drawer just to create more room in a different drawer, so that's what's back there. So for eyeshadow palettes, last month I have been using the ABH Soft Glam, the Revolution Love Island Go For A Chat palette. This was just really fun to use because the UK Love Island premiered this past month, so it's been fun to kind of use that as just like a little play on that. I was using my e.l.f. Bite Quad in Cream and Sugar. I really like that too. And then I also had pulled in my Natasha Denona Mini Love palette for Valentine's Day. So going forward, one thing I want to point out is I do have 2 Tarte palettes. This one though, the Busy Gal Goals palette, I really like the packaging. I honestly have not really used this since I bought it over a year and a half ago. It still has the plastic on it. These shades look a little weird because when it shipped to me, they came cracked, so they just are cracked, but honestly, I haven't like used them. So I'm going to be listing this on my Poshmark. So if you're interested in purchasing this palette, if you want to look at this on my Poshmark, I will have it listed on there. So I will have my Poshmark linked below. I also have another makeup palette on there as well, so those will both be there if you want to browse them. But moving forward and looking to spring, I think I'm going to choose at least 3 palettes to get in the mood for the springtime. And the first one I'm going to choose is this Milani Luminoso palette, just because it is newer to me. Again, I will have that video linked below of me using it for the first time and kind of giving my thoughts, but this definitely just screams spring to me. So I'm going to pull this into my everyday drawer. I think I also I really don't have a lot of single shadows. This is it, this little matte quad. And I think I'm going to pull this in because I've really been wanting to use the MAC All That Glitters shade. So I think I could hit pan on this if I really tried. I'm going to pull this in specifically for this color. And then this matte shade is also just really nice. So I could see myself using mostly these two. These two, I probably should declutter these colors at some point because I don't really go for these very often. So for the rest of the colors in this quad, I have MAC All That Glitters. This is MAC's Tete a Tete, I think. I think this is Shale, and this one is Mauve Taupe or something. I'll have to put the names down below. Can't quite remember. These are my only single shadows, so I definitely kind of want to get more use out of them to decide if I want to keep them in my collection, or maybe I feel like I could switch these out for some different colors at some point. But yeah, so I'm going to pull this in. Also, I really feel like old school today, and I think I'm going to pull in my OG Naked palette. This is the oldest thing in my collection, like by far. This is really what got me started in makeup and kind of owning palettes and things. I just feel like this is such a good everyday neutral palette that I want to pull this in to kind of help complement those other two. And then just on days when I want just like an easy natural look, I can pull this. And then I think I'm going to pull one more palette in. I think I'm going to pull in this Pure Be Your Selfie palette. I just feel like some of these colors are a little springtime with the pinks and the peaches. So I just want to get more use out of this palette. I used it a ton when I first got this, but I've really used like these shades a ton. I've dipped into this one a number of times for blending. I just feel like I could get some more use out of this, especially in combination with the Milani palette. I feel like these shades kind of complement each other, so it'll be fun to kind of mix those together on days when I'm feeling a little more spring and like the pink vibes. So those are the 4 eyeshadow palettes I'm going to be choosing for the upcoming month. So as always, this bottom drawer is the one that houses the majority of the rest of my makeup collection, all of my face products, and my lip products. So I do already have a powder going in my Project Pan, along with a powder bronzer and now a concealer. So last month I had also pulled in this e.l.f. brightening pen, which I really enjoyed, but I'm ready to switch this out because I recently purchased the Maybelline Instant Age Rewinder eraser thing. And this is just a solid go-to in my collection, and so I really want to use this. So I'm going to pull this in for my under eye concealer. I had also last month pulled in this Wet n Wild contour stick, and at first when I pulled it in, I kind of did it because I was thinking of decluttering this, and I wanted to give it one more go, and I'm so glad I did because I actually really, really like this, so I'm going to be keeping it. But in its place, I've just been really wanting to go back to my Makeup Revolution cream bronzer. I have this shade Light. I just really love this. It's so easy to blend. It's super nice. I like wearing this underneath the powders and then adding the powder bronzer on top just to add even more depth. So I'm going to be pulling this in for my cream bronzer. For blush, I feel like it's just a no-brainer to pull in the Milani Luminoso blush since this is new to my collection and it just screams spring and will go with that eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to pull this in for a powder blush. And then just to be fun and have another option and pull in something I haven't used in a while, I'm going to pull in this Makeup Revolution blush palette. It has all these blushes in it. I think I'm going to focus mostly on like this peachy one. I would really like to hit pan on a few of these and eventually maybe declutter this palette from my collection. It's just, I really don't use these highlighters over here, and honestly, these are a little too deep and too pink for me. So really, I'm just using like this one. Occasionally I'll use this one, it's still a little bright, and then these more neutral ones. But it just seems like too much to keep around for using 3 of the 8 blushes in here. So I'm going to pull this in and try and focus on the peachy shade. Last month for blush and highlighter, I had been using this Natasha Denona Rose Cheek Duo, which I got on sale at Sephora for $10, which I think is a really good price for Natasha Denona products. However, I honestly am a little confused by it. It said it was a cream blush, and I guess it's kind of like a cream to powder formula, but it just didn't really like it looks pretty swatched there, but it was just the application was kind of hard for me, and I feel like this highlighter is a little too gold for me. So that's kind of my bad. I was obviously like kind of tempted in the moment because of the Natasha Denona name and it being $10. I'll continue to use it and test it out, but I don't think this is anything you need to like run out and buy. I had also pulled in last month my ColourPop highlighter in Lunch Money. I really enjoyed this. I just love the texture of these, and I like that it's more like the champagne color. That's not even, it's too blown out. But this I really enjoyed, but I'm ready to switch it up again. So I think for highlighter, I'm going to pull in the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. This is another OG, like old school YouTube item. This I really like. I feel like this is going to last me my entire life, but I also feel like the champagne nude color is going to go really well with the Milani blush and with the eyeshadow colors that I've chosen for the month. So I'm excited to pull this back in and get some more use out of it. For lips, last month I had pulled in my Urban Decay Naked 2 lip liner, as well as the e.l.f. gloss in Fantasy. Really, really enjoyed this. And this Revlon lip butter in Fig Jam. I ended up only wearing this one time. The weather kind of changed and got warmer, so this was just a little too dark for a lot of the looks I was going for. So this time around, I think for lip liner, I'm going to pull in two of my newest purchases, the NYX lip liners in Peekaboo Neutral and Ever. They look very similar, but I've enjoyed using these, so I'm going to pull these into my everyday drawer. For lipstick, I kind of feel like I want to pull in quite a few this month. I just am feeling the lip products all of a sudden. So the first one I'm going to pull in is my e.l.f. O-Face one in Dirty Talk. This is new to me, and I just feel like it's a really, really nice everyday color, so I just want to test this out more. I also want to have a pretty neutral lip option. So I'm going to pull in my other Revlon, well actually I have three, but I'm going to pull in another Revlon lip butter. This is the Creme Brulee. This used to be like my go-to all the time. I mean, I've used quite a bit of this already, but I don't know. I've gone through like 3 or 4 of these, so I just kind of want to pull this back in just for some nostalgia. And then for another color option, I also want to pull in my Makeup Revolution Friends lipstick in the color Rachel. I don't know, I just kind of was feeling the like 90s, early 2000s vibe this month too, so I did pull this out a few times and use it, so I want to put this in my everyday drawer. For gloss, I do have that Buxom gloss in Kimberly in my project, but I am going to pull in at least 1 or 2 other glosses. It's kind of hard to see them back here, so let me pull out this tray. Okay, so this has just got a lot of my like liquid lipsticks and liners and glosses and random stuff, but I think the first gloss I'm going to pull in my other e.l.f. gloss. This is Lip Plumping Gloss in Champagne Glam. So even though the Buxom one is plumping and this one is as well, I think that's going to be fine because I really want to use this color. I feel like it's going to go well with a lot of the colors that I've chosen for the lipsticks. And then just for fun and to kind of stay on that Friends theme, I'm going to pull in this Revolution Clear Gloss. This technically is the Rachel shade, but I just kind of feel like having a clear gloss will be helpful on the days when I'm either just going to wear a lip liner or I just want to throw something on to add some shine. And honestly, I have used this like maybe once, so I want to get some more use out of this. Oh, and finally, I am also going to pull in this Maybelline Vinyl Ink in the color Cheeky. This was a new purchase for me last month, and I've been really enjoying it as an everyday liquid lipstick type option. So I'm going to pull this in as well. So I do have a lot of lip products going this time in my everyday drawer, but like I said, I'm just kind of feeling the lip products all of a sudden. So I'm going to pull this in as well. The final product that I need to choose is a mascara because I did decide to pull out that Pacifica mascara and put it in my empties. Again, it's hard to see back here. I keep a lot of my backup mascaras in this is an old candle jar. So let me pull that out and we can look at the mascara options. Okay, so this jar just has some of my like travel size items and some backup items. So there's like a mini travel spray in here and stuff, but it's also where I keep mascaras and some like eyeshadow pens. So I think the mascara that I want to pull in for this month is going to be the e.l.f. Lash and Roll. I've been really enjoying this ever since I bought it, and I just want to use it more. So I really like this. I'll put up a link to the video where I tested this out and shared some of my thoughts on it. All right, so let's fill up my everyday makeup drawer. So the way, just so you know, the way I typically like to put things in my drawer, I put like cream products up here, and then the rest is like the rest of my face powders. Bigger palettes I try to keep in the middle or back here for easier access. Lips, and then brows, mascara, liners. So that is kind of how I organize this side at least. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed the Shop My Stash style video. I really enjoy making those. It's a good reminder to take stock of what you have and appreciate and use the things that you've already spent your own money on instead of being tempted to constantly purchase new things. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Leave a comment down below if there's anything that you've chosen recently to have in your everyday makeup drawer that you're really loving. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.